Yo, what's up, everybody? My name's Elliot. This is another episode of Urban Sage. I'm coming to you live from my apartment in Los Angeles, California. I just want to talk about something that's really prevalent in my conversations lately, and that's attraction. A lot of people have been talking to me about what makes them attractive, or how can you increase your attraction, and how do you really know when someone's attracted to you. And I was doing a lot of thinking about it while I was speaking with them, and I realized besides the visual appeal, what really makes someone attractive is their unapologetic, genuine expression of themselves. So, you may see someone and they're behaving in a way that you can't really, kind of understand or really like form an opinion around. But you're like, I don't know what they're really doing, but I kind of like it. They're like, this person is like really drawing me into their life. I don't know what's going on, but I'm attracted to them, right? Like, I have attraction towards them. And I started talking to someone, and when you can figure out what is difficult to do in society, and you can achieve that, you can execute that, you become someone who other people are attracted to. It's like, wow, how did this person do that? Like, you become so fascinating. You become a person of interest, and really this balancing between maintaining someone's interest in you but also providing them with just the right amount of mystery of who you are really makes them attracted to you. And when you can express yourself genuinely and you really just unapologetically behave in society as your true self, if someone appreciates that, and if you're behaving in a way that that person is receptible to, they become attracted to you. And so there's just one prerequisite with that, really, and that's that you have to know who you are, really. You have to know what your unapologetically genuine self is, because then otherwise you're behaving in a way that is upholding the social aspirations, and that's not attractive. It's not, I mean, maybe to some people, but I mean, even then, it's like, if that's really your genuine self and someone is receptive to receiving that expression, then yeah, that's why I guess two very, I guess you call them like cookie cutter individuals can be extremely attracted to each other, because there's this relation formed based on how this person is expressing themselves and what this other person is looking for. So when you express your true, genuine self without trying to abide by any, I guess, boundaries constructed by the environment that you're in, people are drawn to you. But like I said, there's a prerequisite that you have to know who you are, right? You have to have an understanding of what it is that you like. You have to know your traits, your values, your goals, your skills. You have to know what contextualizes your identity, because then otherwise you're just behaving in a way that is anticipated. It's like, oh, of course this person's going to do that. Of course these things are going to make them do that, or they're going to do what they did based on those things like laws and social norms and all these constructions that we have in society to make us go down the conveyor belt of normalcy. But when you can veer out of that, when you can strive away from that, mundane type of thinking and behaving, and really live in a dynamic that is outside of what is presumably acceptable, and also allow the other person, or have the other person be interested in how you veered off or strayed off of that path of normality. And that sounds very complicated, but it's actually really simple. It's just really just be who you are, and know that there's going to be some people who may not be interested in your behavior, in your thinking, in your demeanor. But that's fine, right? That doesn't mean that you're less attractive. It's just that what would form someone to have attraction to you isn't present in that relationship with that person who's not interested in you, right? It's like it's like you're wearing flip-flops. Not flip-flops. You're wearing like scuba gear, like the flippers on the sidewalk. And it's not that they work any less. It's just that they're not being utilized in the right environment. So, you have to utilize who you are. You have to present yourself in the appropriate environment, or in an environment that is capable of appreciating who you are as an individual. So I really just say this to really exemplify the idea that if you feel as if no one's interested in you, or you feel as if you're just roaming around this giant rock in this cosmic fishbowl, just be you. Just be you, and know that those who appreciate whomever that is will be drawn to you. And those who aren't interested in making that person of whom you are in their life, aren't really meant to be in your life, right? It's not that they're more or less significant. It's just I just don't find the necessity to strive to bring you into my life. And really, like, that's the foundation of having your own experience. Having your own experience is formulated on the idea that you have to have experiences that are related to you as an individual, because then otherwise we would just all be behaving in the same way, receiving the same results, and really just living in this robotic, meaningless type of demeanor, dynamic, and society and existence. So in being yourself, you get to have your own experiences. And while you're having those experiences, know that as you build upon them, you become more and more firmly constructed of who you are. It's really just that this is probably the best example I could really use to make a parallel. Like, if you've ever had multicolor sand in a bottle where it's like red sand, yellow sand, green sand, blue sand, purple sand, and it's all layered so seamlessly on top of each other, and then you just shake it all up, and then it's all some gray, some really pretty gray sand. Right now, you're that gray sand. If you don't know who you are, you're that really pretty gray sand, and it's in your experiences that you start to be able to distinguish which elements of yourself are present, and you can only form that distinction through being aware of your genuine self within your experiences and expressions and environments and relationships, and just having these experiences and being able to distinguish, oh, that behavior, that thought was really me. I really believe that. And that other one over there isn't me, right? And really just being able to separate the two. Because a lot of the process that is living life is really just meant to bring clarity to whomever is living that life. And, you know, when you can really form a distinction between these elements and components within yourself, you get to be at peace and live within this essence of just blissful experience. Because then once you start to distinguish these different attributes of who you are, one, super attractive, right? Being able to walk down the street, walk into a room, have a conversation, and be able to make moves and think and speak and act in a way that is unshakable is so attractive. Attractive in the sense of, wow, I wish I was doing that. I wish that I had the ability to behave in that type of a dynamic. And then people start to be receptive, because people are receptive to things that they want, right? Because people want to have things that they want. So if you're behaving in a way that is really of a completely different caliber of human being, people see that instantly and they're like, wow, I need this person in my life. And that can only be formulated, that higher quality caliber of person can only be formulated through being aware of who you really are while you're making decisions and having thoughts and forming relationships in the process of your development. Because the process of development is it is a winning battle. Eventually you get to this point where you are no longer striving to get ahead of the curve. Eventually you are beyond the curve, and you are really soaring higher than what was previously assumed to be possible, right? Because when you're behind the curve, everything seems so difficult. And it is in those moments of discomfort and turmoil and those moments of discomfort and turmoil that are what are meant to be focused on, right? When you can distinguish who you truly are in the moments of turmoil and discomfort and say, yeah, no, I understand that this happened, but these attributes of who I am are going to prevail. And these skills and qualities and traits and values that I have are really genuinely me, and I'm going to develop them further so that when I am faced with another trial or tribulation, I am shaken less to my core. I can show up a little bit better even if I still miss the mark. At least I miss the mark maybe a little bit less. And you start missing the mark a little bit less and less and less and less and less. And eventually what happens is you get to the point where you hit the mark, right? Eventually you hit the mark. And you may not hit the mark every time. You may slip up. You may fall short of an expectation that you or someone else has of you. But it is in that development that you start to formulate the understanding of who you are, and you get to distinguish what colors of sand are contextualizing your identity, contextualizing your gray, mystical, magical, beautiful sand that is just an anomaly right now. It is in the moments of being able to distinguish what is truly who you are while you're going through the process of growth is self-discovery and self-development and self-improvement. And that's attractive. That is, and like, you may not even notice it, but that is what you're attracted to within somebody. Their ability to really hold true to who they are. So, if you want to be more attractive and you want to form a higher quality of attraction between yourself and someone else, learn about yourself. Learn about who you are. Because after knowing who you are, you can unapologetically express your genuine self. And if someone is receptible to whomever that is, there is attraction. And then there's a whole other conversation can be formed, right? A whole other topic of thought can start. But that's really where you have to begin. And that is forming an understanding of who you are so you can express that person genuinely. So someone could potentially meet that individual and maybe be receptible to embracing whomever that is. So learn about yourself. Take some time. Think about who you are. What are your traits, values, goals, skills, attributes? And harness and hone and develop those things further than any other attribute, skill, value, trait, characteristic of who you are. If you guys could drop a like, drop a comment, share this video. If you guys want to subscribe so you know more, of when more videos are coming out. I highly recommend it. I have a lot more videos coming out. I have a lot more content coming out. And I want to make an announcement on April 8th in Los Angeles, California. I'm putting on Sage Day, and I'll be giving back needs to people who are without. I'm going to be giving blankets and pillows and food and water and the essentials to really embark on a life of comfort to whom doesn't have those things. So you can go to the Urban Sage Development Facebook page and give a donation. You could send me a message at urbansagedevelopment@gmail.com to be more involved than just donating, even though that's amazing. We do need as many people to get involved with this as possible. And there is also a GoFundMe where you can also make a donation. You can just search Sage Day in the search bar and it'll show up. And I'm just so grateful that I get to talk with you guys and I get to really develop who I am, so I can provide more to whom's listening to you, and also so you can develop yourself further, right? And then you can help somebody else, right? Like, and that is really the essence of being an urban sage. It's using who you are to help somebody else, so that person can improve their life. And with that mentality, we can change the world, right? We can change generations. We can change the future that has yet to happen just by affecting one person in one particular way, right? And that all really comes from knowing who you are. So, yeah, please stay tuned for more content. You can follow me on Instagram at urban underscore sage underscore, and check out the website as well. It's urbansagedevelopment.com. And yeah, just stay tuned. There's a lot of great things coming up. And thank you guys again. And until next week, my name's Elliot, and this is another episode of Urban Sage. Peace out.